You're welcome back to Dateline Abuja. I still have here with me in the studios the country director of Amnesty International, Ambassador Ibrahim Mohammed. You're welcome back to the program.
Thank you very much.
We were talking just a few minutes ago about the criminal justice system in Nigeria. Now, the federal government is considering reforming the criminal justice system, which a lot of people from so many quarters are saying is outdated and obsolete. What would you suggest to be considered as this is being carried out?
Well, with regard to the death penalty, we will, as we have recommended, before, the court system, the investigations have to be very thorough. We need to use forensic evidences. For example, there are a lot of technological development in crime, detection, and this, should be used. We believe our police and even our judges, have to receive modern training, to cope with this development in the area of crime detection using technology.
I've heard of someone who was recently pardoned here in Nigeria, somewhere in Delta State, who says that he was arrested for a crime that he did not commit, and then he was tortured by the Nigerian police and compelled and forced to sign a document or indicating that he actually committed this crime. What would you have to say about such things? What should be done to check such as the criminal justice system is reviewed?
Thank you very much. I believe you are referring to the case of Moses Akatuba, who had been granted pardon last year after spending like 8 years on the death row. He was accused, of stealing a cell phone. And in the process of investigation, we found out that he was tortured, he was hanged on the ceiling, beaten up, his fingernails were removed using pliers, and he had to sign to a written confession brought to him. These are some of the recommendations that we are making about the reform in the criminal justice system. The Nigerian criminal justice system is coping with a lot of torture. In fact, the UN Special Rapporteur on torture, when he visited in Nigeria, some 10 years ago, he made this headline revelation that in Nigeria, interrogation starts with torture and ends with torture. It was a very horrible commentary, and I believe it's still going on. Amnesty International has written about torture in Nigeria. We released a report 2 years ago titled "Welcome to the Hellfire." And we're talking about torture in Nigerian prison, torture by the police to extract confession. And a lot of people have found themselves on the death row because of torture, because they had to confess for crime which they might not have committed.
So what is the role that the Justice Ministry can play in this regard to ensure that people are not wrongfully sentenced for crimes they did not commit and they don't have to undergo untold torture in the process?
Well, we are fortunately working with the Ministry of Justice, and we are happy with the support, that the Attorney General promised, to give in the reform of the criminal justice, system.
Now, this also brings me to the issue of human rights violations in Nigeria, which the Amnesty International has championed for a long time now. Now, one of the things that people do not want you to lose sight of is that some of these persons who were in one way or the other allegedly violated, their human rights were violated by the Nigerian army or the police, had announced themselves as enemies of the state. What would your reaction to that be?
Well, what Amnesty is saying is that unlawful detention, torture, does not solve, problem of insurgency. It is possible to fight insurgency within the ambit of human rights also. We are not saying that anybody who takes arm, to fight his government should not be punished, or, the military should not take appropriate action on such people. But we are saying that the steps, taken especially in the Northeast, where people who are not, combatant were met in their various houses in the so-called screening, these are suspects only. They have not been found with guns. They have not been found in the battlefront. Some women, children who were arrested and kept in detention in horrible condition. Our report, is very clear about that. The result of that was that thousands of these suspects, had died, because of the torture, because of the condition of their detention. We had evidences that in some cases chemicals were even used because of the stench, because of the huge number of people who are in a very limited confinement where you have thousands of people.
Do you think it is possible to abolish the death penalty globally?
Yes, it's quite possible. As at last year, 152 countries, 2/3 of the member states of the United Nations have abolished the death penalty. We have not less than 5 now who are in the process of abolishing the death penalty. So those who are still imposing the death penalty, including Nigeria, are in the minority. So we hope Nigeria will leave the minority and join the majority of countries in the world that have abolished the death penalty.
That means we have about 42 countries yet to abolish the death penalty,
yes,
out of which 5 of them are in the process.
Yes.
What should be the encouraging factor for a country to abolish the death penalty?
Well, the research that we have made, which many scholars have also made, which confirm the fact that the death penalty is not a deterrent, to crime. It's not a deterrent for those who want to commit murder. And the case of Nigeria, which I have said, especially those, the insurgents, these are religious fanatics who are eager to die. These are people who will carry bombs, to explode and get themselves killed and kill others. So they are not going to be deterred, by the death penalty. So the more you kill, the more, want to die. They want to be martyrs.
Thank you so much for your time, Ambassador Ibrahim.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. As always, thank you for your mails. Do keep them coming using the address and Twitter handle on your screen. You can also let us know anything happening within your area, especially if you are in the nation's capital. Don't forget, you can view the program on youtube.com/channelsweb/videos. Do make your comments after viewing the videos. Always remember to include your name and where you're writing us from. I am Omelogun Nadi. See you next time.